Remy had lived behind the strip mall dumpster off Sycamore Drive for 3 unremarkable springs, and he had every reason to believe the fourth would be identical. Overflowing trash cans by dawn, bored dogs toying with their leashes by midday, and at night, the soft glow of living room televisions spilling sitcom laugh tracks into the alley where he foraged. What Remy did not expect the evening everything changed was to hear his own name. Well, the name he'd taken after nibbling a discarded chef head echo from a tabletop radio set inside Mrs. Keegan's open kitchen window. "Call in now," boomed the announcer, "and tell us the most ridiculous place you've ever woken up. The grand prize? 1 week hosting the Graveyard Shift on WQKR 101.7, where late nights come to whisper." Remy tilted his striped head. A week indoors, surrounded by warmth with the microphone instead of yowling alley cats for companionship, sounded better than sorting stale fries from coffee grounds. He scrambled up the elm beside Mrs. Keegan's house, skittered across the sill, and nosed the oversized buttons of her cordless phone until the speaker crackled. "101 Dell? You're caller 47. What's your name and where are you calling from?" "Urime," he rolled, half purr, half growl. Remy? Great. Now, tell the Tri-County area craziest place you've ever woken up." Images flashed through his memory. A popcorn machine at the drive-in, a laundry basket full of lavender-scented socks, the hood of a still-warm Subaru. He settled on honesty, or as close as a raccoon needed. "In a vending machine. A8. 2 chocolate bars." The producer howled with laughter. Listeners across 3 counties did too. "We have a winner!" Trumpets blared, and before sunrise, a politely worded email sent to Mrs. Keegan, because the station assumed the call had originated from her line, arrived with directions, badge credentials, and a note about their rising star guest host. When station manager Terrence T-Bone Wilcox stepped into reception the following night to greet his pronoun-labeled envelope, he found Remy instead, 10 pounds of glossy fur, bright eyes and tiny hands clutching the email printout. T-Bone had seen stranger, a ventriloquist dummy possessed by morning show gossip, a vacuum cleaner spokesman who only spoke in rhyming couplets. Radio, after all, thrived on novelty, but never had novelty waddled in on clawed toes and washed its face in the lobby's decorative fountain. A frantic conference erupted. Legal wondered if employing a raccoon violated labor codes. Marketing saw merch potential, advice straight from a trash-panda mugs. HR attempted to locate a species-appropriate benefits package. While humans debated, Remy explored. In Studio C, an old analog console hummed like an invitation. He pressed a fader and the monitor speaker sighed, with dead air hiss so pure it felt like possibility. What no one at WQKR knew, what Remy himself barely understood, was that he possessed another talent besides digging through refuse and answering trivia. In the quiet hours just before dawn, when his siblings would curl into heaps of twitching tails, Remy practiced something he called the shimmer. It began as a tingle between his tiny palms, a vibration that gathered like static. If he focused, the air parted, revealing a dime-sized slit of swirling silver. Push a paw through, and pop his arm might emerge in Mrs. Keegan's pantry or the movie theater concession stand or any place he'd pictured with enough desire. He'd never questioned it. Raccoon life rewarded outcomes, not explanations. The shimmer had limits. Remy couldn't step through, only reach. But what more did a raccoon need than an arm's length of anywhere? Thus it was at 12:01 a.m. on Monday that WQKR introduced REM After Hour, a smoky-voiced show promising unfiltered late-night wisdom from the newest outsider philosopher. Producers saddled the raccoon with a human sidekick, Benny the overnight engineer, whose job was mostly volume control and damage mitigation. Benny wore motorcycle gloves in case rabies became relevant. The on-air sign glowed red. Benny pointed. Remy cleared his throat with the gravitas of someone who'd routinely gnaw chicken bones beside recycling bins. "Hello, nocturnal wanderers," he crooned. His voice was husky, faintly European, really just the result of leftover caramel stuck in his cheeks. "I'm Remy, here to solve your problems, while you, dear callers, solve my hunger for snacks. Line 1, you're live. A nervous giggle crackled. Hi, I'm Trish from Millstone. So my boyfriend wants to move in but still labels his Tupperware at my place. Remy listened, rotating each ear like satellite dishes, commitment anxieties, territory disputes. This he understood. Trish, he intoned, never trust a creature who marks plastic for ownership yet leaves your fridge door ajar. Tell him the world is your dumpster. If he cannot share leftovers, kick him to the curb and let raccoons dine on his insecurities. Benny winced. Trish, however, exclaimed, Whoa, that's empowering. She paused. Hey, weird question. Did something just knock over my cookie jar? Across the desk, Remy retracted his arm from a new portal, crumbs dusting his whiskers. The shimmer sealed with a pop. By 3 o'clock, the board lit up like a pinball machine. Insomniacs, truckers, grad students, recently heartbroken poets, every voice sought Remy's trash can zen. A landscaper confessed to stealing garden gnomes. A landscaper confessed to stealing golden gnomes and claiming they were modern art. A middle-aged accountant worried he'd peaked at 17. Remy suggested he celebrate Peak Day annually with cake, thus converting existential dread into frosting. Each time the caller rambled, Remy pictured their kitchen, summoned the shimmer, and relieved them of nachos, pudding cups, or entire rotisserie chickens. Ratings climbed with every swallow. Management, drunk on overnight ad revenue, extended his contract beyond the promised week. They issued press releases about their groundbreaking cross-species hire. College kids organized listening parties called Trash Talk. Hashtags trended, Raccoon Wisdom, Late Night Forage. One person remained unconvinced. Mabel Pinto, the 22-year-old intern who cataloged complaint emails, and complaints there were curiously specific ones. Woke up to find phone advice helpful, but where did my cheese puffs go? His host sending burglars. Missing. 3 cupcakes, 1 turkey leg. Show's great. Pantry's empty. Coincidence? Mabel added 2 and 2. Helped by a security cam screenshot showing Remy in the break room withdrawing a Danish from what looked like a glowing hole in reality. She printed it and marched to the studio during a commercial break. Benny intercepted her. Not now, he hissed, eyeing their star, who was busy licking honey from a portal that currently connected to a beekeeper's cellar. It's theft, Mabel whispered. And physics. Listeners love him, Benny replied. Let them eat cake, because Remy won't leave them any. But Mabel had ambition. She dreamed of producing investigative podcasts about conspiracies and quantum mechanics, not sweeping up snack wrappers. She cornered Remy in the hallway after his shift, recorder in hand. I know about the portals, she said. Remy bent his whiskers in what might have been a smile. Mabel, is it I know about unpaid internships? We both exploit loopholes. Sure jeopardizing, she began. Shall we trade? He flicked his paw. A shimmer opened, revealing Mabel's favorite Colombian cold brew resting in her fridge 15 miles away. He plucked it, handed it to her. See, mutual benefit. She unscrewed the cap, confused and intrigued. That Friday's show aimed for spectacle. WQKR promoted a Raccoon Remedies telethon, inviting callers to pledge food donations in exchange for advice. Benny stacked tinned sardines, cereal boxes, and novelty popcorn tins near Remy's chair. Sponsors clamored. A vitamin company offered vitamin-fortified trash bags. A mattress store pitched beds sturdy enough for nocturnal rummaging. Halfway through hour 2, the hotline rang with an unfamiliar click. Line 7, reserved for emergency overrides. Benny answered, then paled. He mouthed, It's for him. Remy perched on the console. Evening, unknown wanderer, share your wounds. The voice that replied dripped composure. Dr. Ursula Bellamy here, leading researcher at the Institute for Spatial Anomalies. I study rifts like the ones you keep opening. Papers shuffled. Your energy signature matches 17 incidents of unlicensed portal activity. Each tier destabilizes local topology. Keep going, and kitchens won't be the only thing collapsing. Remy's whiskers flattened. He'd heard rumors among raccoons about bad sparkles that swallowed whole dens. Still, hunger often trumped abstract peril. Dr. Bellamy continued, I invite you to cease, not out of fear, but because cosmic equilibrium matters more than midnight cravings. Listeners held breaths. Ratings spiked. Remy exhaled into the mic. Doctor, the universe sent me here hungry and clever. I merely follow nature. Nature doesn't punch holes in itself for cookies. A red light blinked. Caller queue overwhelmed. The suburbs were waking up, alarmed by cosmic equilibrium. Advertisers threatened. No apocalypse, no ad buys. T-Bone burst into the booth waving a memo. Fix this. Under pressure, Benny cut to a station ID. Remy paced. Mabel slipped inside, eyes wild with possibility. This is your redemption arc, she whispered. Close the big tear on air, prove you care, get bigger ratings. Remy eyed the on-air sign. A raccoon may be many things, opportunist, scavenger, night philosopher, but irrelevant was not one. He sauntered to the mic. Dear audience, wisdom is admitting when your paws dig too deep. Tonight we meant. He pictured every portal he'd ever opened, each lure of frosting, each shimmering temptation. The air thickened with static. Then pop, pop. One by one, silver slits appeared in the studio. Portals reconnecting to origins. Trisha's cookie jar, the landscaper's yard, the accountant's cake. Snacks tumbled out in reverse burglary. Cupcakes somersaulted, cookies ricocheted, a rotisserie chicken rolled across the mixing board. Unfortunately, Remy had underestimated volume. The studio flooded waist-high in edibles. Circuits sparked, microphones drowned in tomato soup. Benny surfed a baguette into reception, shouting, "We're definitely off the air!" In the chaos, Dr. Bellamy's calm voice returned via emergency phone line. That's a start, but the central tunnel remains. I can feel it. Remy felt it too, a spiraling hunger not his own, an emptiness bigger than dumpsters. The master portal hovered above, wide as a manhole cover, churning like storm clouds. Mabel adjusted a working headset. We need a massive positive seal put back, something huge, something meaningful. What's bigger than food? Benny hollered, dodging olives. Advice, Mabel answered. His words, Remy understood. He climbed a mountain of pretzels to the hanging microphone, now crackling with half power. Listeners, he rasped, I've taken what wasn't freely offered, so here's a gift you didn't ask for, he inhaled, drawing the portal's wind. Forgive, then hide your snacks better. Words flew, shimmering, sucked upward in letters of light. The portal shuddered. Remy kept speaking nonsense, wisdom, recipe tips, until his voice fused with static. With a thunderclap, the rift snapped shut, leaving only the smell of ozone and barbecue chips. Silence blanketed WQKR. Seconds later, breakers flipped and lights flickered alive. Emergency power restored a single mic. Benny whispered, We're back? Remy picked marshmallows from his tail. Welcome, he murmured, to Arm After Hours, the reboot. Let's clean house both cosmically and corporately. Phones lit. First caller, Dr. Bellamy, assessment dimensional integrity stable. For now. Thank you, Dr. Cookie. She laughed, genuinely relieved. The two struck a bargain. Remy could create microportals for demonstration under institute supervision, trading data for snack stipends already donated and cataloged. Management spun the fiasco into legend, world's first interdimensional charity drive. Insurance covered damages, they categorized the event as an act of godlike raccoon. Mabel, armed with audio of the collapse, produced a viral miniseries called Snack Holes, landing her a full-time job. Benny parlayed his baguette surfing into a mattress store commercial. As for Remy, he adopted new rules. He would still take food only from those who offered. Listeners mailed care packages with riddles he had to solve to earn the treats. He dispensed advice calibrated somewhere between sage and sabotage. To the lovelorn, date someone who'd share the last dumpling. To the anxious, remember tomorrow's trash is next week's treasure. To the power-hungry executive, be the raccoon, not the lid-lift others, and the feast grows. Every so often he'd open a sanctioned portal, gloved technicians recording data, snatch a donut, and hear the caller's delighted gasp. Portal tourism became a Sunday segment. The Institute patented Remy's method for sustainable spatial folding. One drizzly dawn, after wrapping a show in which he'd advised a night shift nurse to sprinkle cinnamon on her coffee for courage, Remy stepped outside the studio. City lights shimmered on puddles. He rummaged the breast pocket of his miniature satin jacket, gift from marketing, and withdrew a single fortune cookie. Left over from the snack avalanche, he cracked it open. The slip read, "Paths appear where curiosity meets appetite." He chuckled, wadded the paper and flicked it into a trash can, then thought better, retrieved it, and tucked it back inside. Some leftovers, after all, deserved second chances. A passing garbage truck slowed. The driver leaned out, radio static leaking from his cab. "Hey, you that raccoon giving advice?" Remy nodded. The driver grinned. "Got anything for a guy who's tired of the same 4 routes?" Remy's eyes glinted beneath the street lamp. He reached out, and a tiny silver shimmer opened, delivering a steaming empanada from who knew where into the driver's outstretched hand. "Change a route," Remy said. "Start with your lunch." The truck pulled away, laughter echoing down Sycamore Drive. Remy listened to the urban dawn cars starting, coffee brewing, the world waking, still hungry. He flexed his paws. Portals or not, there would always be new questions, new snacks, and new ways to tie them together. And as long as late nights needed whispers, a suburban raccoon with a microphone and a talent for mischief would be there, ready to answer. And